Hello, I wanted to make this video to illustrate two different approaches to making music sound loud. The first one is Benny Andersson's band doing Story of a Heart. Now, I don't really want to damn Benny Andersson at all, because most of this CD, in particular the instrumental tracks, are very well recorded and very well mastered. It's just that they've tried to be overly commercial with the title track, which has got Helen Hjelm on it. Can I say that again? Hjelm. What's happened is that they've set the levels of the first verse to be very high. In fact, the explosive consonants, things like puz and buzz and guz, reach at or very close to 0 decibels. So you've got this very wide dynamic range. It does actually go quiet, but you shouldn't really, if you've got a quiet signal, it shouldn't reach the maximum acceptable audio level. And it's slightly uncomfortable. With the result, you're thinking this is quite loud, and when the chorus comes in, you know, am I going to be able to bear it? And sure enough, when the chorus comes in, it clips, goes beyond that 0 decibels into the red line, and it stays there. When you get into the second verse, which has got it's got a heavier accompaniment to it, the drum beats make it clip, but they then quickly go to a more acceptable level, so it's a bit more bearable. Now that sort of level is illustrated on the next track, which is the Kula Shaker one that I've got here, called Great Hosanna. It's from a 2009 remaster of their 1999 album Peasants, Pigs and Astronauts, and I was actually dreading playing this because I thought, you know, it's going to be the same as every other remaster, but in fact it's not. The quiet bits are actually really quiet. You will notice that the levels in the quiet bits don't go above you know, a very small amount of decibels. That's very badly put. Anyway, when you get to the loud bits, they're similar to the second verse of Story of a Heart, in that although they clip, they quickly come back down again, and you'll notice that the levels dance up and down, and that actually means, strangely, that you can dance to it. It's actually quite good, and on my screen it will look probably worse than it actually sounds. I very highly recommend this. It's a really brilliant album, and the mastering is actually quite subtle. In the next bit, which I'm going to show you from Logic Express, you'll hear the sound as being recorded from my iMac, so the sound quality is not brilliant. In fact, it's not good at all, but it's just to illustrate the levels. Okay, so we'll go into Logic Express now. Okay, so here we are in Story of a Heart. This is the flute intro here. Interestingly enough, that's sort of peaking at -5. Anything below 0 decibels, 0 decibels is round about here on these meters, and anything below 0 decibels is not expressed as a negative here. So -5 is somewhere around about here. Anything that peaks comes up as red round about here. All right, so this is the flute part. That's a very quiet bass note, believe it or not. Well, it's quiet, but with an accent on it, so it shouldn't be as loud as that it implies there. It's just a transient, but let's have a listen anyway. See, that peak is very slightly below 0 decibels. But look how quiet that is.
heart is racing. I stand in a trance as I stare at the back of a bus, knowing there's no use denying. I can't stop thinking about us.
Here we go.
The story of
How that's staying in the red. We move a little bit further ahead to here. Right, this is what I mean about just slight peaks where it clips, but in general the level stays sort of fairly averagely low. When she starts singing round about here, it's pushing it to clipping a bit further. Let's just have a little listen. Okay.
Keep coming through. So many years, still I'm.
So you've got quite a large dynamic range. It's bouncing up and down, but it's too loud. It's too loud. Let's have a little look at Great Hosanna. Have a look at the waveform first of all. Let's just do that first. So look at the waveform. So look, quiet. All right, when it gets louder, the meters get higher. And then it's quiet again, loud, quiet, loud. So you've actually got something called real dynamic contrast. Have a little listen. So now this is quiet. The levels stay quiet within a certain range. Even that spike hasn't affected it too much. Genuine crescendos and decrescendos, that's beautiful. See, slight peaks, slight clips, but nothing too drastic. It dances. Move into a chorus. Again. So quite a marked difference between approaches there. Yeah, the Kula shaker one gets quite dense at times and does clip, which I don't think is good, but it doesn't sound anything like as uncomfortable to listen to over long periods. This is as if you were to listen to an album that was mastered in the way that that particular Story of a Heart track's been.